One handshake. That's all it took to flip SmackDown completely upside down and expose Nick Aldis as the most outplayed general manager in WWE history. Drew McIntyre suspended. Drew McIntyre just became the fourth member of the Vision's WarGames team, and he did it legally. Paul Heyman smiled. Nick Aldis fumed. And somewhere backstage, Cody Rhodes and CM Punk realized they're walking into the most dangerous match of their lives against five absolute killers who want nothing more than to end their careers in the most violent structure WWE has ever created. You're watching SlamZone, where we break down the moments that change everything. And trust me, what happened on SmackDown didn't just change the WarGames match, it exposed a massive crack in Nick Aldis' authority that could haunt him for months. If you want to understand how Paul Heyman just pulled off the con of the century using nothing but words and a contract loophole, hit that subscribe button right now. Because by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how the Wiseman manipulated everyone, including you, into thinking Nick Aldis had any control whatsoever. Let's start from the beginning. Last week on SmackDown, Drew McIntyre snapped. He attacked a WWE referee during the main event between Cody Rhodes and Aleister Black. Just destroyed him. No hesitation. No remorse. Pure rage. And Nick Aldis, trying to establish himself as a strong authority figure, immediately suspended McIntyre indefinitely. No SmackDown appearances. No matches. Nothing. McIntyre was done. Or so we thought. Fast forward to this week. Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed show up backstage at Nick Aldis' office. Security immediately surrounds them because Heyman's a Raw guy now, part of the Vision, and he has no business being on SmackDown without permission. Aldis looks annoyed but brings them into his office anyway, probably thinking this is going to be a quick conversation. That's his first mistake. When Paul Heyman wants to have a conversation, it's never quick, and it's never simple. Heyman starts talking. He's polite, respectful even. He tells Aldis he just wanted to clarify something about the WarGames contract, that according to the agreement, he can recruit anyone from any brand to join his team. He specifically mentions SmackDown. Aldis looks at him like he's wasting his time. Of course he can recruit from SmackDown. That's literally in the contract. Everyone knows this. Why did Heyman fly all the way to Albany, New York just to confirm something so obvious? And that's the setup. That's the bait. Heyman needed Aldis to say it. Out loud. On camera. In front of witnesses. Yes, Paul, you can pick anybody from the SmackDown roster. Those exact words. Because later tonight, those words are going to come back to haunt Nick Aldis in the worst possible way. But before the trap springs shut, there's more business to handle. Cody Rhodes walks into the office. He's face to face with Bronson Reed, one of the most dangerous men in WWE. 6'3", over 300 pounds. A human wrecking ball who's been destroying everyone in his path as part of the Vision. Reed squares up to Cody. Tensions are rising, and Paul Heyman, being the master manipulator he is, sees an opportunity. Heyman starts talking. He's goading Cody, questioning his bravery, suggesting that maybe the American Nightmare is scared to face Reed one-on-one. Maybe he needs his friends to protect him. Maybe he's not the champion everyone thinks he is. And Cody, passionate, proud, sometimes too emotional for his own good, takes the bait. He tells Aldis to book the match. Not just any match. A WWE Championship match. Main event. Tonight. Cody Rhodes defending his title against Bronson Reed. Aldis tries to warn him. He tells Cody flat out that he knows what Heyman's doing. This is a trap. This is manipulation. Reed is dangerous, and the Vision will absolutely try to interfere. But Cody doesn't care. His pride won't let him back down. So Aldis books it. WWE Championship on the line. Main event of SmackDown. And Paul Heyman walks out of that office with a smile on his face because everything is going exactly according to plan. The main event arrives. Cody Rhodes versus Bronson Reed. The match is brutal. Reed is throwing Cody around the ring like he weighs nothing. Sentences that shake the entire ring. Power moves that would break most men in half. But Cody's fighting back with everything he's got. This is his title. This is his legacy. He's not losing it to anyone, especially not to someone trying to manipulate him into a bad situation. Then it happens. The Vision shows up. Braun Breaker and Logan Paul storm the ring. They're attacking Cody, beating him down. The referee has no choice, disqualification. Match thrown out. But the Vision doesn't care about wins and losses. They care about sending a message. And that message is, we own you. The Usos rush down to even the odds. Jimmy and GUSO aren't going to stand by and watch their WarGames teammate get destroyed. They're throwing super kicks. They're clearing the ring. They're fighting off the Vision. And just when it looks like the babyfaces have control, they set up for their signature move. Logan Paul gets laid out on a table outside the ring. Jimmy and G climb to the top rope together. The crowd's going crazy. They know what's coming. The USO splash. It's going to put Logan Paul through that table and end this segment with a massive babyface victory. But then the music hits. Drew McIntyre's theme song blasts through the arena. The crowd doesn't know how to react. He's supposed to be suspended. He's not supposed to be here. But there he is, charging down the ramp like a man possessed. He slides into the ring and immediately starts destroying everyone. He levels the Usos. He attacks Cody Rhodes. He's a one-man wrecking crew, and nobody can stop him. Nick Aldis comes storming out. He's furious. He's screaming at McIntyre, reminding him that he's suspended. He can't be here. This is a direct violation of SmackDown rules. He needs to leave immediately. But McIntyre doesn't even look at him. He just stands there, breathing heavy, staring down at the carnage he just created. And then Paul Heyman appears. Heyman walks slowly into the ring. He's holding a contract. The WarGames contract. He walks past the furious Nick Aldis like he doesn't even exist. And he extends his hand toward Drew McIntyre. The crowd realizes what's happening. This isn't a random attack. This is a recruitment. McIntyre joining the Vision. But Aldis isn't having it. He's suspended. Aldis yells at Heyman. He can't compete. He's not eligible. This contract means nothing. And this is the moment. This is the payoff. This is what Paul Heyman has been setting up since the second he walked into Aldis's office hours earlier. Heyman turns to Aldis with that smirk, that knowing, confident, I've already won smirk, and delivers the knockout blow. You told me I could pick anybody from the SmackDown roster. You said it yourself. Earlier tonight. On camera. Drew McIntyre is still on the SmackDown roster. You suspended him from competing in SmackDown matches, but you didn't remove him from the roster. So unless you want to go back on your word, unless you want to admit on live television that your agreements mean nothing, this contract is perfectly legal. The camera zooms in on Nick Aldis's face. You can see the exact moment it hits him. He's been outmaneuvered, outsmarted, humiliated. He made an agreement without thinking through all the possible loopholes. And Paul Heyman, 40 years of experience in this business, found that loophole and exploited it perfectly. Aldis has no response. He's trapped. If he tries to reverse this now, he looks weak. If he admits Heyman's right, he looks stupid. There's no good option. He's checkmated. Drew McIntyre picks up the pen. The crowd is losing their minds. Some are chanting his name. Others are booing. Everyone is shocked. He signs the contract. And then he shakes Paul Heyman's hand, officially joining the Vision for Survivor Series WarGames. The segment ends with the Vision standing tall over the fallen bodies of Cody Rhodes and the Usos, while Nick Aldis stands helplessly at ringside, unable to do anything about what just happened on his own show. And if you're feeling what I'm feeling right now, absolute shock at how brilliantly Heyman executed this plan, smash that like button and share this video with every wrestling fan you know. Drop a comment telling me if you think Aldis should have seen this coming, or if Heyman's just operating on a level nobody else can reach. And make sure you're subscribed to SLAMZONE, because WarGames is going to be absolutely insane, and I'll be here breaking down every moment. Let's talk about what this means. The Vision now has 5 members confirmed: Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and one more spot still to be filled. On the other side, you've got CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, GUSO, Jimmy USO, and they also need one more. But here's the thing, the Vision just got exponentially more dangerous. Drew McIntyre is not just any superstar. He's a former WWE champion. He's main event WrestleMania. He's one of the most physically dominant wrestlers on the entire roster. And more importantly, he's got personal vendettas against multiple people on the opposing team. He hates CM Punk. Their rivalry has been going on for months. He's obsessed with destroying Cody Rhodes. And now he's in the most violent match WWE has to offer, with both of them trapped inside a steel cage. This isn't going to be wrestling, this is going to be a war. Think about the strategic brilliance of what Paul Heyman just accomplished. He didn't just recruit a strong fighter. He recruited someone who wants to hurt his opponents on a personal level. Drew McIntyre isn't fighting for championships or glory. He's fighting because he genuinely wants to inflict pain. And when you put someone like that inside WarGames 2 rings surrounded by steel cage, weapons legal, nowhere to run, the results are going to be terrifying. Nick Aldis is standing backstage right now, probably questioning every decision he's made as SmackDown general manager. He got played. On his own show. In front of his entire roster. In front of millions of viewers worldwide. How does he recover from this? Does he try to punish Heyman somehow? Does he become even more strict with his rules to prevent this from happening again? Or does he just accept that when you're dealing with Paul Heyman, you're always going to be 3 steps behind? The loophole Heyman found is legitimately genius. Technically, Drew McIntyre is still part of the SmackDown roster. His suspension only prevents him from competing in SmackDown matches. But WarGames isn't a SmackDown match, it's a premium live event match that happens to involve SmackDown talent. The contract states Heyman can recruit anyone from the roster. It doesn't specify they have to be active competitors. So legally, morally questionable but technically legal, Drew McIntyre is eligible. This is why Paul Heyman is called the wise man. This is why he's been succeeding in professional wrestling for 4 decades. He doesn't just understand the business, he understands human psychology, contract law, loopholes, manipulation tactics. He knew exactly what to say to Nick Aldis to get the verbal agreement he needed. He knew exactly how to provoke Cody Rhodes into accepting a dangerous championship match. And he knew exactly when to reveal Drew McIntyre to maximize the shock and devastation. The crowd reaction when McIntyre's music hit was incredible. Confusion, excitement, anger, shock, all happening simultaneously. People jumping out of their seats. People covering their mouths. People immediately pulling out their phones to record what was happening because they knew this was a moment that would be talked about for years. And when he shook Heyman's hand, when that alliance was officially formed, you could feel the entire energy of the arena shift. This changes everything. CM Punk is probably backstage right now mentally preparing for what's about to happen. He agreed to team with Roman Reigns and the original Bloodline to fight the Vision, but when he made that agreement, the Vision didn't have Drew McIntyre. Now they do. And Punk knows better than anyone how dangerous Drew can be. They've fought before. They've hurt each other before. And now they're going to be locked in a cage together with no escape, no referee stoppage for blood or injury, just pure violence until one team can't continue. Cody Rhodes has to be feeling the weight of this. He's the WWE champion. He's the leader of his team. He's the one everyone's looking to for guidance and strategy. But how do you strategize against 5 men who all have different motivations for wanting to destroy you? Breakker wants to prove he's the future. Reed wants to prove he's unstoppable. Logan Paul wants mainstream attention. Drew McIntyre wants revenge. And Paul Heyman wants to orchestrate the downfall of everything Cody's built. That's not a team you can just out-wrestle. You have to survive them. The Usos are in the middle of family drama while also trying to prepare for the most dangerous match of their careers. They reunited with their family to fight Solo Sikoa's version of the Bloodline. Now they're also dealing with the Vision. They're getting attacked from multiple directions, and WarGames is going to test them in ways they've never been tested before. Even with all their experience, even with all their championships, this is different. This is personal. This is survival. Before we go any further, hit that notification bell so you never miss a SLAMZONE upload. Share this video everywhere because this story is just beginning, and everyone needs to understand what's at stake. And comment below with your predictions. Can CM Punk and Cody Rhodes overcome the Vision? Or is Paul Heyman about to orchestrate the greatest WarGames victory in history? The image of Drew McIntyre and Paul Heyman shaking hands in the center of the ring while Nick Aldis stood helpless at ringside is going to be replayed for years. That's a defining moment. That's the kind of visual storytelling that makes wrestling memorable. Heyman's smirk. Aldis's frustration. McIntyre's intensity. The fallen bodies of Rhodes and the Usos. The Vision standing united as a force of destruction. Everything about that moment was perfectly executed. WarGames is now guaranteed to be absolute chaos. You've got 2 of the biggest championships in WWE represented, World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk and WWE Champion Cody Rhodes both potentially losing their titles if things go wrong. You've got family drama with the Usos and the Bloodline. You've got personal vendettas everywhere you look. And you've got Paul Heyman pulling strings from outside the cage, manipulating situations to his advantage even during the match itself. The final piece of both teams, the 5th member each side still needs to announce, becomes even more critical now. The Vision has Drew McIntyre. They've already made a power move. Who do Punk and Rhodes bring in to counter that? Does Roman Reigns make his return? Does Sami Zayn officially join? Do they bring in someone completely unexpected? Whoever they choose has to be someone who can match the intensity and danger that the Vision is bringing. Nick Aldis is going to have to address this somehow. He can't just let Paul Heyman humiliate him on live television without consequences. But what can he do? The contract is signed. The agreement was made. If he tries to reverse it now, he undermines his own authority even further. If he punishes Heyman after the fact, it looks like petty revenge. The smartest move might be to let it play out and then use WarGames as an opportunity to prove his judgment was right, that the Vision biting off more than they can chew by stacking their team with egos that might implode. Paul Heyman has built an empire in WWE over his career by doing exactly what he did tonight. Finding talented people, uniting them under a common cause, exploiting every possible advantage, and making sure his team always has the psychological edge. The Vision isn't just 5 strong wrestlers, they're 5 people who all want to hurt the same targets for different reasons. That unity of purpose, even if their personalities clash, makes them incredibly dangerous. Drew McIntyre accepting Paul Heyman's hand represents a shift in his character. For years, Drew has been the guy who wants to do things his own way, who rejects outside help, who prides himself on being a lone wolf. But he's also been losing. He's been coming up short. He's been watching other people succeed while he stagnates. So now he's accepting that maybe, just maybe, aligning with someone as smart as Paul Heyman is the shortcut to getting what he wants: revenge, championships, and respect. The betrayal angle is going to hit some fans hard. Drew McIntyre was positioned as a babyface for so long. Fans cheered for him. They wanted him to succeed. But WWE has slowly been turning him darker, more aggressive, more willing to cross lines. The referee attack was the point of no return. And now, joining the Vision, there's no going back. He's a full villain. And honestly, it might be the best thing for his career. He's more interesting as a ruthless villain than he ever was as a smiling good guy. The match stipulation for WarGames is perfect for this kind of storytelling. 2 rings. Steel cage surrounding both. One team enters, then the other team enters, alternating until everyone's in the cage. Then the match officially begins, and the only way to win is by pinfall or submission. There are no disqualifications, no countouts, no escaping. Just violence until one team physically can't continue. It's the perfect environment for personal grudges to be settled in the most brutal way possible. Survivor Series is going to be absolutely unmissable. If you're not watching WarGames live, you're going to regret it. This isn't going to be a traditional match with clean wrestling sequences. This is going to be weapons, blood, brutality, and storytelling at its most raw and intense. Careers might end in that cage. Championships might change hands in the aftermath. Allegiances might shift. Nothing is guaranteed except pain. Thank you for watching SLAMZONE. If you loved this breakdown, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out all our other wrestling content. We're here every week breaking down the stories that matter, the moments that shock, and the strategies that shape WWE. Nick Aldis got outsmarted by Paul Heyman in the worst way possible. Drew McIntyre is now part of the vision. And WarGames just became the most dangerous match in recent WWE history. Stay tuned, stay subscribed, and remember, in professional wrestling, the smartest person in the room always wins. And tonight, that person was Paul Heyman.